So Enchanting Grom Fright was a monumental episode for the show, literally making history as being the first animated Disney show with an LGBT main character after it was confirmed that Luz is bisexual. And not only that, but it was revealed that Amity has a crush on Luz. So even though 2020 has basically been a dumpster fire of a year, at least one positive thing is that the gays are winning and we got our 2 gay witches in the Owl House. But an unexpected twist also came at the end of Enchanting Grom Fright when it's revealed that Camilla has been receiving letters from someone posing as Luz from the camp that she was supposed to go to. Now I'll go over some of the most popular options right now. First up, and the least likely, Amity. I know people are saying that the handwriting is similar, but one big distinction is that Amity doesn't cross her Z's. Now remember this because I will come back to this later. But there's also the question of why and how Amity would be sending letters to Luz's mom in the first place. Like, Amity has only recently been on friendlier terms with Luz, and it seems that Camilla has been getting these letters for a while now, so the timing wouldn't match up. Why and through what means would Amity be sending letters to some human girl's mom she didn't even like a few weeks ago? It just doesn't make sense, so Amity is a no for me. Next is Ida. Now, Ida I could see being the more likely culprit. After all, she does have the means of traveling to the human world and her portal is located near Luz's home, so that adds up. But in terms of Ida sending fake letters, that seems a bit out of character for her. Don't get me wrong, Ida took a liking to Luz, but her actually being more maternal to Luz has only been more apparent in recent episodes. And like I said before with Amity, it seems like Camilla has been getting these letters for a while now. And I don't see Ida sending fake letters to try and keep Luz on the Boiling Isles roughly around the time she first arrived. It just wouldn't make sense. After all, Ida doesn't even know what summer camp is. Why would she care?
What summer camp? What are we talking about here?
Also, I know Ida can be a bit careless, but I really doubt that she wouldn't know how to spell Luz's name. Ida is more likely than Amity, but it still seems out of character for her to do something as elaborate as sending fake letters. Which brings us to the Emperor's Coven, the most suspicious of our options. Now, not much is known about the Emperor's Coven, other than that they are the most elite group of witches handpicked to enforce the Emperor's will. We also know that Lilith is the head of the Emperor's Coven and is at least aware of Luz since they briefly met in Convention. So it's not too far out of the realm of possibility that Lilith has informed the Emperor of Luz's presence on the Isles. And we've also known since Convention that Lilith has been tasked with retrieving Ida for the Emperor. I said in my previous video that I could see the Emperor's Coven trying to use Luz as a way of getting to Ida. Now, we don't know how powerful Emperor Belos is or how aware he is of the human world, but considering that Lilith mentioned that the Emperor could possibly heal Ida's curse, he seems pretty powerful. And I doubt that a powerful magic user like him would be unaware of the existence of other worlds. So if there really is a plan to use Luz as a way to get to Ida, they would obviously want her to stay on the Boiling Isles. But how would they do that? Now, I want to thank PickleDPie on Discord, also known as Fermented Writer's Block on Tumblr, for being the first to bring this up to me and really get me thinking. I've linked his Tumblr below, so please go check it out if you're looking for some awesome Owl House theories and analysis. So how exactly would the Emperor's Coven try and keep Luz on the Boiling Isles? What if they were able to make a clone or illusion of Luz to send to camp? Now, there's an interview that's been out since March as part of the Build series that had Dana Terrace and the cast of the show on, and Luz's voice actor, Sarah Nicole Robles, mentions this in the interview.
Definitely got to improvise with Creepy Luz.
Yeah, Creepy Luz is
Creepy Luz is, you'll see her, you'll meet her, you'll get to know her.
Keep an eye out for Creepy Luz.
So apparently we are going to meet a character referred to as Creepy Luz at some point. And what if that Creepy Luz is actually a clone or illusion that was sent to camp to have everyone be under the assumption that Luz was actually there? This would also explain one of the biggest questions of why the camp never contacted Camilla as soon as they found out that Luz never showed up, because they are under the assumption that she's actually there. Now, something else that felt a bit off about this whole thing is that when you actually read the letters, they seem a bit lifeless. Almost robotic, like they aren't an actual person and they are only talking about things that they think humans and people do or talk about. Since the Emperor's Coven, as far as we know, hasn't had any direct contact with Luz outside of Lilith briefly meeting her in Convention and her swapped with Ida, they wouldn't necessarily know much about humans. So it would make sense why the letters would seem so general and lifeless because they don't know Luz that well. Now, this is a bit of a stretch, especially considering that I just said the Emperor's Coven doesn't know Luz that well, but I want to talk about the handwriting. I want to go back to Amity. Remember how I said Amity doesn't cross her Z's? But you want to know who does? Luz. In Sense and Insensitivity, we see her write Lazura with the Z crossed. And though it is a bit hard to see in this wide shot, you can see that the Z is in fact crossed. So if there really is a Creepy Luz clone at camp, then it is possible that they would share the same handwriting as our Luz. I also find it interesting that Luz's name is misspelled, possibly the clone or illusion just being a bit dumb, or maybe more of the clone is going through an existential crisis kind of route. Honestly, the Creepy Luz clone idea would make a lot of sense in terms of why the camp hasn't contacted Camilla yet and how letters would be sent to her. But there are still some holes, mostly due to us knowing so little about the Emperor's Coven, but since we are 3 episodes away from the conclusion of Season 1, we will hopefully be getting more on them soon. I mean, Luz and the gang are literally going on a field trip to the Emperor's Castle, and we know for a fact that Belos is going to be appearing soon, so we can only hope to learn more. Again, thank you to Pickle D Pie for first bringing the Creepy Luz idea up and letting me bounce some ideas and theories off of him, and again, I've left his Tumblr in the description below. But thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.